I spend most of my day here. In the morning, roast coffee, and then the cup, coffee table is full of cups. So we cup 250 300 cups a day.
Have you ever wondered what your mornings would be without a medium regular coffee, double order from Tim Hortons? It's never going to feel quite the same now how those coffee beans are made. Here's how Tim Hortons makes its coffee, and so much goes into getting the taste just right. You can find Tim Hortons coffee in just about every corner of the country, and now in India in the city of Delhi too. There are two things you can bet on no matter where you go: it'll be cheap, and it'll taste so good. But how does Tim Hortons make that happen? How do you ensure that a cup of coffee in Toronto tastes the same as a cup in Yellowknife or Vancouver? To explore the Tim Hortons Roastery in Ancaster, Ontario, and see how much goes into making the iconic Canadian coffee we know and love. The Tim Hortons Roastery in Ancaster supplies coffee to all of its nearly 4,000 restaurants across Canada, according to statistics shared by Tim Hortons. It's a 74,000 square foot facility located just an hour outside Toronto, and it's been roasting coffee for Canadian stores since 2009. Tim's operates a second coffee plant in Rochester, New York, but the Ancaster location is the only one of its kind in Canada. The warehouse stores and ships 1.5 million pounds of coffee a week and produces enough to make 270,000 cups an hour. Now, let us walk through the journey of how coffee goes from green bean to brew. First, beans are shipped in from around the world, including several Central and South American countries like Guatemala, Brazil, and Colombia. Tim Hortons is a blend of 5 bean types. This is the raw coffee bean. Did you know coffee beans are green in color and only turn brown before they get roasted? The process starts with inspecting for defects and cleaning to remove any sticks, stones, and metals. Then they move to the blending and roasting process. Tim's uses the Neptune 3000 roasters, which according to them are the world's most advanced roasters. Next, they're off to roasting and blending in giant roller drums. Around 10,000 pounds of coffee are roasted per hour, and each batch takes approximately 12 minutes to roast a batch. After cooling for 2 hours, the roasted beans head to the grinders and then move to the degassing stage to keep them fresh. Finally, the roasted, ground coffee is packed and ready to be shipped out. The equivalent of 975 pots of Tim Hortons coffee is packaged every minute, and the warehouse has a turnover time of 2 days, according to Tim's.
Here, where it's flickering, it's adding 16 pouches on a layer to 144 pouches in a case. So we're doing about 7.5 cases per minute.
Then a very cool looking robot automatically stacks 64 boxes on each pallet. The plant manager called it one of the best employees because it works 24 hours a day and doesn't go for a break. Then the boxes are put in storage and shipped within 2 days. The plant manager says they barely have any issues with their process. And if they do, they're easily able to backtrack to which bag it came from. Tim Hortons always goes to ensure every cup maintains that signature coffee taste. A new term at Tim Hortons Roastery is known as cupping. It's the practice of evaluating the flavor, aroma, and quality of brewed coffee. Tim's taste their coffee multiple times throughout the process to ensure it maintains the same quality. Some employees that work at the plant actually cup coffee all day long. Jay Patharana, Tim Hortons Green Coffee Quality Manager, is a pro cupper whose team checks 250 to 300 cups of coffee a day. By the time they reach the warehouse, they've already been sampled 3 times to ensure their quality has remained uncompromised throughout their journey. They spend most of the day here for cupping.
I spend most of my day here. In the morning, roast coffee, and then the cup, coffee table is full of cups. So we cup 250 300 cups a day.
Tim's actually rejects around 10% of their shipment for not meeting quality standards. Then the coffee is tested again after it's roasted and packed.
We reject about 10% of coffee.
every hour we keep 3 pouches of the finished goods. Every 5th batch, which is every hour on each roaster, we take a sample and we cup that to make sure that it's our
The
standard.
plant cups 3 pouches of product every hour to ensure it meets standards and saves 2 for reference in case an issue ever occurs at the store level. Everyone who works here has the exact smell memorized, and they get to find the fine notes to pick out defects very quickly.
Coffee long enough, you get to find the findings, right? And you get to know them, and you can pick out defects very.
Tim Hortons says its iconic recipe hasn't changed since it opened the doors to its first restaurant in 1964. The blend is a mix of 5 bean types. So how does Tim Hortons make their coffee taste so good? The recipe is highly confidential and even the employee don't know about it. Here is how they blend it.
I've been here for 11 and a half years, I don't know the recipe. So the commodity group will be cupping the green beans, and then they put in the formula. The formula will go in the background in the computer system. Then they'll send me an email saying, here's the number that you're going to use today. So you're using recipe 419. We put in 419 in the background and starts drawing the amounts of coffee for the roast.
And therefore, it's safe to say Tim Hortons keeps their recipe top secret. So the next time you take a sip of Tim Hortons coffee, remember that there are plenty of people who work hard to make it taste just right. Let me know, what surprised you when you had your first Tim Hortons coffee? Please comment below if you like this coffee.